Alright, what's up everyone? Welcome back to Bokoblin TV. Now, I cannot be the only one feeling like this season has been the sweatiest Fortnite has been for a long time. Like, every lobby that I go into has at least 14 streamers and has people flying at you from every angle, and you have zero breathing room the entire time. So today we're going to be breaking down why this season feels so insanely sweaty and what's actually changed behind the scenes, and at the end I am going to be giving you guys tips on how to take advantage of the skill-based matchmaking for this last week of the season so that hopefully you can get some of the sweat off of your games and enjoy this last week of the Simpsons season. Now, the main thing that's going on right now this season is what I like to call the collab season effect. You know, whenever Fortnite does a massive crossover season like this, especially one that's like The Simpsons, nostalgia heavy, you know, you start seeing all of the older players start to jump back in. Now, these are players that haven't touched the game in months or even years, but they maybe got really good at the game whenever they could build, you know, and they're season 1 or 2 build grinders who are, you know, OGs cranking 90s, but now the skill gap from build has gotten so tall that they can't compete as well. So where do they go? They go to zero build. And just because they might be OGs coming from build, it doesn't mean they lose that muscle memory of how to shoot well and land shots, and just overall good game sense. So with that, you get this spike of returning veterans and just overall new players. With the amount of times that I've seen Fortnite advertise on Netflix, and I don't know how many of my friends that never play Fortnite have came to me and said, oh yeah, I downloaded Fortnite just to play the Simpsons season. So right away, just from that, the average skill of each lobby that you go into jumps up considerably. Now next, going off of that point, the player count this season is up tremendously. Now, I made a video a couple of videos back that was kind of explaining the player count towards the end of Chapter 6 and how low it was and how zero build was slowly overtaking builds. Well, now, coming into November, there has been, again, a massive spike in player count. Now, you might be thinking, oh, that's great, which it is, it's great for the game, until you realize what exactly that means for skill-based matchmaking. Now, higher player numbers equals Fortnite doesn't need to fill the lobbies with as many bots. So in the last couple of chapters, Chapter 4, 5, and 6, you might be used to loading into a game that's supposed to have 100 people, but only has 20 real people, and you go the first few minutes of the game only running into bots, and you get 5 kills before you run into an actual player and maybe you die or maybe you kill him. Now, all those slots that were taken up by those bots are being filled by real people that can hit their shots and that can third party you after you get done with a fight. That alone skyrockets the sweat level, and then you combine it with a season that's already attracting more serious players, and it's basically a perfect storm. Now, not only that, but the map is literally about 1/4 the size of last season, meaning that you could fit 4 of the Simpsons islands on top of the Chapter 6 island. So a smaller map means shorter rotations, more early game fights, way less dead space in the middle, and way more third parties. Think of it like last season was a marathon to get to the end, whereas this season is more of like a UFC cage match where it just shoves everybody into a little tiny space and lets them all fight it out. You land, you fight instantly, boom, somebody's already there shockwaving onto your head, and then, on to the next fight. And speaking of shockwaves, another huge change this season is going to be the simplified loot pool. Now, Fortnite did trim away a lot of those gimmicky weapons that we might have seen in the earlier chapters. And as an avid Reload fan myself, I can tell you that the reason why I like Reload is that it didn't have those gimmicky weapons. It was much more simplified loot pool. You had the shotguns, you had the ARs, you had shockwaves and grapplers. Well, this season is very similar to that, minus, of course, the shockwaves. So you got all the lackadaisical BR players getting tossed into a match with all these cracked out Reload players that are used to those weapons. And I'm pretty sure all the weapons that are in the game right now, other than, of course, the collab weapons, were weapons that were recently in Reload in the first place. So they're already practiced with them. Then on top of that, you add in the newer weapons that take a lot of skill, like the Mr. Blasty's gun, that are super fun and super skilled. It's basically just changed BR into a more updated version of Reload. It's just instead when you die, you have to go back to the lobby. Now, another thing that I think has led this season to feel a lot more sweaty, especially for solos, is that, in my opinion, this season is really made for team modes. Games tend to feel a lot less third-party oriented whenever you have, your homie there to put down some cover fire while you pop some heals. But because of that, that pressure tends to bleed into solos a bit too, meaning that solos this season are filled with players that are about that life. So what you get is solo lobbies filled with aggressive and experienced players who aren't afraid to jump into fights and take risks. That means that you get a lot less time to breathe, loot, rotate, and reset after fights. Now, another big point to be made is that because there are basically no red dot ARs, I know they just added one red dot AR, but I think that's only one throughout the course of an entire match that could even possibly spawn. So I'm just going to say, for clarity's sake, no red dot ARs. That means that the entire meta has shifted to a very close range combat oriented playstyle. This season is basically see a fight, shockwave, land on somebody's head, full on W key, get out as fast as you can. So with everybody forced into shotgun range, these third-party chains can just feel non-stop. It's like all pushing and no poking. And if you're playing on PC and feel like you're getting blasted more than ever, a big reason for that is going to be the tactical shotgun being meta. So before this season, we've had, in Chapter 6, we had the balls shotgun, the one with the two nuts, and that thing sucked. That was only really used off of spawn, and as soon as you found a sentinel, you drop the balls shotgun immediately. But the tactical shotgun, on the other hand, is no joke. And it is a massive buff to controller players because it rewards strong tracking, it has a super high fire rate, and it has a very close range stickiness feeling whenever it comes to the aim assist. You can really just jump on somebody's head and let the aim assist do the work. So if you're a controller player and you're not using the tac shotgun this season, well, put a quarter in your ass because you're playing yourself. Because that thing is no joke. And if you're a keyboard and mouse player, well, you better start respecting the auto shotty. Because people can kill you in 3 shots, even if you're full health. Which is kind of ridiculous. Now, another thing that I wanted to bring up that's not necessarily confirmed, but a lot of players, including myself, feel like the skill-based matchmaking this season has been dramatically tightened. The game seems to be more consistently matching you in matches with people that are actually around your skill level, instead of sprinkling in those lower tier lobbies so often. That means that if you have been doing well lately, you are going to feel it. You get a win, well, your next game's going to have about 15 streamers in it. So yeah, between the returning veterans, the smaller map, the more dense POIs, the simplified loot pool, the shotgun meta, and the tightened up skill-based matchmaking, this season has really proved to be one of the sweatiest in Fortnite's history. At least in the past few years. It really has just been a perfect storm to make solo players feel like they're just pounding their head against a wall. Now earlier I told you that I would give you a couple of tips on hopefully helping make these next few days a little bit less sweaty. Use the deodorant applicator on your games so that hopefully you can have some more fun here in the last couple of days of the Simpsons season. Now one thing that I do really recommend you do if avoiding sweaty lobbies is a priority for you, which would be playing off of peak hours. Now, peak hours for Fortnite are going to be anywhere between 2 p.m.-ish, 1 to 2 p.m., to about 11 p.m. Anytime you're playing in the morning or anytime you're playing late at night, those lobbies are going to be significantly easier because you got the dads and you got the kids that are so young they can't even go to school yet. And that makes for noticeably easier matches. Now, another huge tip is going to be mixing in some reloads with your BR games. So whenever you switch over to another game mode, it does a soft reset of the skill-based matchmaking, as well as kind of give you a mental break in between games. So especially if you've just won a game and you feel like Fortnite's about to pop you into a lobby filled with killers, you might want to just switch over to maybe a creative mode or a reload mode, clear your head, and avoid that immediate lobby skill bump directly after a win. Now, with all this being said, we do only have about a week left, a few days left of this Simpsons season, so if you haven't finished that Battle Pass, make sure you finish it now. If you're looking to buy anything in the shop, hey, use code BOKO, that's B-O-K-O, in your Fortnite item shop. I would greatly appreciate it. Especially with this new season coming up, the code only lasts in your shop for about 2 weeks, for about 14 days, so make sure you put that in there now, so that whenever you get the next Battle Pass for the next season, my code's already in there. Just that simple thing really helps me out more than you could ever imagine. And it keeps me being able to make videos like this so that y'all can have something to do while you're taking a dump or whatever you're doing. You know what? That's going to be the comment challenge for today. Go ahead and comment. Leave a comment telling me exactly what you're doing at this moment. Are you in between matches? Are you taking a dump? Are you eating some food? Let me know down in the comments below. Also, let me know what you guys are thinking of all the leaks that are happening for Chapter 7. Now, apparently it's going to be like, I've heard Gala themed. I've heard like it's going to be a James Bond theme thing. But now it's seeming to be more like a West Coast America, you know, California, Mojave Desert themed map, which sounds really cool to me. You know, Chapter 5 was European themed. Chapter 6 was Chapter 6 was Japan themed. There we go. And Chapter 7 going to be themed after the USA. So I'm super excited for that. And not to mention, my favorite movie of all time is getting ready to have a collab, which is Kill Bill. I love Kill Bill, and I'm so excited to have the bride in the game. You know I'm going to be running that. As well as all the leaks for possible Harry Potter to be coming out. Now, with it being LA based, I'm thinking there's going to be a lot of movie collaborations. So we've already had Kill Bill. They've leaked Back to the Future. I'm definitely repping a Marty McFly skin. The DeLorean is a day one buy as soon as I see it in the shop. But I wonder what other movies are going to be coming out as collabs. Here's another thing for you to comment down below. What movie would you be most excited for to be collabed with in this next coming up season? Alright, but anyways, I've ranted enough about the sweatiness of the Fortnite season. I think I would be lying if I said that I was sad to see it go. I am definitely excited for Chapter 7. But anyways, thanks everybody for watching. Thanks everybody for commenting and liking on my recent videos. Just know I read every single comment and I see everybody who comments. So once again, I do appreciate all of that. Make sure you go down there and you like and subscribe. And I will see everyone, most likely, in Chapter 7. Peace. Oh, come on, dude. How did he have so much health?